So, got a new knife day. Got the Boca Plus, it's come today, and I'm going to be using it over the next couple of months to see how we get on with that, see what we think. The Lansky, yeah, I recommend that to anybody for the price of the knife, and that is fantastic. Well, a few people have said to me, don't like the shape of the blade, it's a bit bulky, it's very thick, it's quite a heavy knife, and I'll give you that, it is a heavy knife, but I do bushcraft. So I always looked at that knife as, if I had to, could I use it to batten? Well, I don't know how long it would last, because obviously you're going to be damaging it, and any folding knife, the shock load comes back onto the hinge. It's not advisable, but if it was an emergency, yeah, I reckon that knife would. I reckon if you were stuck in the middle of nowhere with no other tool, that knife could be used to batten with. Okay, so we're going to go with we'll try out the Boca Plus. A little bit more expensive. There is a cheaper version of the Boca that you can buy, which is comparable to the Lansky, and that is also a world legal. And this is a UK legal knife. Okay, so yeah, before we get into any issues, quibbles, quarrels, arguments, or otherwise, right? Let me just read to you the relevant sections from the .gov UK regulations. Okay, this is taken from their site. Okie doke. You have to bear with me because you all know that I'm very dyslexic. Okay, UK knife law also allows you to carry a non-locking pocket knife with a blade length up to 3 inches or 7.62. Easy to remember, my favourite calibre. Without any need for a valid reason. Okay, so a folding knife up to 3 inches with no valid reason. You're allowed to carry a knife which exceeds these guidelines in public, but please remember that you need a good reason to carry it. Gov UK has the following to say on the reasons for carrying a knife. Examples of good reasons to carry a knife in public over 3 inches include taking knives to and from work, taking knives to a gallery or a museum to be exhibited, or the knife is going to be used for theatre, film, television, historical reenactment, religious purposes, i.e. the kirpan that some Sikhs carry. Okay, you can also, as long as you can justify it, use it for your bushcraft. Your bushcraft is your hobby, it's your pastime, it's a reenactment. Okay, you're using old skills and techniques. Doesn't mean you can carry a 4-foot sword with you. However, a knife within reason, if you can show that that knife is designed for the purpose you're using it for, right, a court will decide possibly in your favour, in all probability within your favour. Okay. However, abuse of any bladed instrument is still illegal. So if you're using a knife in a threatening way, doesn't matter if it's a butter knife with no edge and no point, any bladed instrument used in a threatening way is going to end up with you getting done. Quite simple. And yeah, that makes sense. Okay, things for you to also think about, and this is where I think some of the guys that I've spoken to have come unstuck, because a couple of people have had things like Swiss Army knives taken off them by the police. There may be zones in the UK which are not permitted, will not permit you to carry a knife at all, regardless of the size or locking mechanism. Yeah, this is often the case, and examples are to be given as football stadiums, bars, clubs, city centres, and other crowded places. Okay, they are all knife-free zones, as well as hospitals, courts, and schools. Okay, so again, you've got to be practical about it. If you're going up to town, you're going shopping. Oh God, I carry my leather with me everywhere. Okay, it's a multi-tool, but I don't try to be sensible about it. You know, if you're going uptown and you're carrying your Boca Plus and it's clipped to the outside of your belt where everybody can see it, again, you're going to get into trouble. It's tucked in your pocket, it's discreet, you're not showing it, you're not using it, it's there for when you need it, you'll probably get away with it. But again, in places where you're going to get searched, bars, clubs, stadiums and so on, yeah, you're going to lose it. It's going to get taken off you, and you will probably be refused access. Okay, it's all common sense. And I know some of our guys in other countries which have more liberal attitudes to their knives are going to say, cool, nanny state, nanny state. But we have had a major issue in the UK with knife crime, and unfortunately the knee-jerk reaction is always blame the tool rather than the person. Okay, so you need to blame the people. We need to start punishing people for committing crimes, not carrying, but committing crimes and criminal acts with any weapon. I was always taught, it doesn't matter whether it's a knife or what. If a guy means to harm you, if he's got a knife, he'll use a knife. If he's got a screwdriver, he'll use a screwdriver. If he doesn't have a screwdriver, he'll use a stick. If he doesn't have a stick, he'll use his fists or pick up a house brick or a bottle. So you've got to take these things sensibly. Unfortunately for the media and the government, it's quite often easier, instead of say educate and punish, they will turn around and have a knee-jerk reaction and let's have a ban on things. And so let's give you an idea. This is the list of banned items in the UK. It's quite comprehensive, so I'll whiz through it. These items are illegal to own or manufacture in the UK. So in other words, you can't even have this in your own home. Okay, flick knives, switchblades and automatic knives. These are where a blade is hidden inside the handle and shoots out when a button is pressed. Please note, assisted openers where you push a flipper or thud step to open a knife are okay to be used at home. Okay, now I've looked into this, and the Boker has a thumb stud on it for opening. It's not illegal. Okay, it's sub 3 inches. I can carry that in public. Single-handed opening knives where you're opening against a pressure are not illegal in the UK. However, if you file and adapt that knife so that it can be opened with a flick, which, yeah, I've got a bit I used to do as a nipper. You get a pen knife and you start wearing it, and it gets to the point. Apologise about that. Idiot phoning me. So again, knives that wore and got to the point where instead of it taking pressure to open it, you could literally do that and the blade would flick open. Now, it doesn't work with a pen knife because it tends to flick open and bounce back. Okay, that was something with the lock knives. So you'd flick it, it'd open and it'd lock open. Okay, those are illegal. Okay, it's got to be open against pressure. So anyhow, that's flick knives. Butterfly knives, where the blade is hidden inside the handle, which splits in two like wings, and the handle swing round, blade open and closing it. Yeah, I used to have one of those when I was a lot younger, when they were legal. Balisong, yeah, banned UK, not legal to even own. Disguised knives, where the blade is hidden inside a belt buckle or fake mobile phone or item. Yeah, so that why? Again, the only reason you're secreting a blade or hiding a blade is if you're doing no good. Right? Somebody carrying a blade for a legitimate reason. Why? Why do you need to hide it? You want it to hand. Okay? So secreted blades, yeah, I can go with that. I can understand that. Gravity knives. Again, that's a knife that works under gravity. It can be held up, you release a pin, the blade drops under gravity, locks into place. Again, that's illegal because, again, Germans developed some great ones during the Second World War. We pushed a button, flick it, and the blade would come out and lock. Comes under the same thing as a flick knife or a switchblade. Sword sticks and samurai swords with exceptions. Right, so sword sticks, samurai swords, in fact any sword, right, made with traditional methods before 1954 aren't illegal to own within your own home. They're illegal to take out in the street, but they're not illegal to own in your own home, right? Because they're classed as antiques. Anything made after 1954 is illegal. And therefore you can't carry it, have it, take it out or use it. Handle foot claws, yeah, banned. Push daggers, banned. Hollow coup baton cylinder shaped keychain holding spikes, not allowed, banned. Shuriken, otherwise known as Death Stars or Throwing Stars, banned. Kusurigama, which is a sickle attached to a piece of rope, cord or wire, banned and illegal. A shogi, which is a hook knife attached to a rope or wire, yeah, that's illegal. And numerous other things. And again, if you were to go through the list, I could probably sit here for an hour going through the list. So if you're not sure, contact your local authorities, or go to the .gov.uk site and look it up for yourself. So again, when we're coming back to legal knives in the UK, it's a simple rule. You don't have to have a reason to have something below 3 inches, non-locking, okay, as long as it is not assisted opening. Okay, an assisted opening means that it uses either gravity, centrifugal force, spring, yeah, to open it. That's flick knives, gravity knives, or something you could flick open. Now the flicking open one again comes back to having a lock, because otherwise you just got a blade waving around. Yeah, it's simple. It's a pen knife. It's a pen knife. Blade no longer than 3 inches. You're allowed it. You can have it, and there are some brilliant ones out there. That's UK law. Obviously, bear in mind, if you're watching this later on, laws can change, and the date of this video is the 28th of the 2nd, 2023. If you're watching this in 2-3 months' time, go to the .gov UK website if you're not sure, check with it, because things do get amended, they do get changed. Okay, so yeah, that's the legalities behind it. We'll see how it goes. Guys, hope you're all good, safe and happy wherever you are. I'm going to unbox it now, and then I'll give you it. So guys, let's unbox this knife and let's have a look, see what I think. So, it comes in a nice box, magnetic flip on it. You get the usual instructions and warranties inside, which we'll go through in a bit. And then inside, here we have it. Okay, so this is the Boca Plus. It's a UK legal knife. It's a very, very pleasant design. I've got it in the red handle, so that if I lose it in the woods or I drop it, I can find it. It's easily identifiable. It's a hollow grind, so it's going to be a very, very sharp edge, and it's going to be fairly easy to maintain. It's got a nice positive action to it, which I quite like, and the belt clip is very sturdy. The thumb pins are ambidextrous, so can be used left or right handed. One thing I think they could have added to it, and I might actually make one to add later on, is it could actually do with a lanyard hole or a lanyard clip, so that you could put it on a lanyard. That would be advantageous, especially in the bushcrafting world. But yeah, the knife's not overly heavy. The blade's of a sensible thickness. It's not monster thick. You couldn't really, I wouldn't use it for battening and things like that, but for a general purpose knife, it's very, very good. I like it. Well worth the money. The other thing I liked about it is the way the company sent it out, and this is a company, and they sent a lovely brochure, show me all their kit and their gear. Some of it's a little bit expensive for me at the moment, but you never know. It's always handy to see what kit's out there. It gives you ideas, and you can come up with things and maybe adapt some of the things you see in there from what you already own and possess. Okay, so that's the Boca Plus knife. I'll be using that over the next month or two, and we'll see how it gets on. That's Mickey out. And so there we go, straight out of the box, done unboxing. That's the Boca. And like I said, I purposely went for red. Yeah. I use it for my bushcraft and survival. If I drop that in the undergrowth, okay, it's going to make it a little bit easier for me to see and find. I'm not going to lose it. It does open, and it does take a bit of pressure on the thumb there to do it, which complies with UK rules and regulations. Can't flick it out. Okay, got to be a positive opening. It does have a very nice click a very satisfying click when it goes into place. And again, you show it's not a locking blade. It is a penknife. Now, things I like about it, and one of the reasons I chose this one, I like this finger choil here, right? Which means my finger acts as a trap. My hand's not going to slide this way down the blade, and B, if it does slip back, right, it cannot shut on my hand. And in an age where we can't have locking blades, that is a real bonus. Just that simple design means I'm not going to close this on my fingers. I will say the spring's a good quality spring on it. A lot of my knives I can shut like that. It's quite difficult on this one. So the technique on this one is going to be keep fingers out of the way, close it into the palm of the hand, tuck it away. Weight the knife's nice. It's got a positive weight without being heavy. So you're going to know you got it in your pocket. And as I said before, it's got a good clip on it. The clip can swap from side to side, can't swap from end to end like you can on the Lansky. And in the box with this, you also get a tool, so you can strip the knife, move the clip from end to end, and strip and clean the knife, which is always a bonus to be able to get the knife open and clean, especially if you end up using it for preparation of game and things like that, where you will end up with grime, muck, dirt inside here, and sometimes you need to be able to strip it to clean it. Guys, that's the Boker. That's the Boker Plus from Heine Hines, £42 with delivery. Okay, £42. Yeah, it's not a cheap knife, but again, it's I've been told these are absolutely brilliant quality and will last for donkey's years. So we'll try it out over the next 3 months and see how it gets on, and then I might try another one. There's lots of companies out there. I've had a look at the Spyderco, and we'll see how I feel about that. You get your usual warranty package, you get a thank you from the company, all pretty much standard stuff. But another thing they do give you, and I do like, they give you this. And I will point out for those of you not sure regarding one-handed openers with a locking mechanism. Not sure regarding one-hand openers with a locking mechanism. Purchase and ownership are still absolutely legal. Carrying a one-handed opening knife with a locking mechanism is limited in some countries, but there are exceptions making it legal: camping, hiking, climbing, so forth. We deliver a key to be flexible with this problem with carrying your folding knife. Okay, UK knife law, it is legal to have a one-handed opening knife. Okay, and let's think about this from a practical point of view. When the lawmakers were thinking, why would you allow people to have a penknife? One of the things they came up with is people like farmers. Okay, so a farmer uses it to cut bales. He may have to use it in an emergency situation where something is caught up in machinery. Okay, maybe even his other hand. You're not always going to be in a position in an emergency where you can use two hands to open a knife. The other thing you have to account for is people with physical disabilities. Okay, if you're a person with only one hand or one arm, what's the point in having a knife that you've got to open with two? So again, are you, and I bet you it's one of the things I thought about, are you actually saying to people with disabilities you can't have a penknife, and you're saying to everybody else you can? Okay, so again, single-handed opening, and it's got to be a positive single-handed opening. It's not an instant flick, it's not a gravity knife. You know, if I could hold this knife like that and let go of the blade's going to swing open. Right? It's going to flop around because there's no resistance on the spring, so that makes it useless as a penknife. The other option is to have a locking knife where you can push a button and the blade just swings open and locks. Illegal. It's using centrifugal force or gravity to open the knife. I'm waffling now. This was only supposed to be a little 5-minute one. Guys, have fun, be safe, be good, have no fear, do your research. I hope all your friends are well. I hope the weather's good where you are. I hope your families are fine. Love those you do, forgive those you don't. Peace and light be on you all. This is Mickey, the Boca Review. Mickey out.